kids, and welcome to the Cub Club. My name is Zookeeper Zephra, and I am joined by my furry sidekick, Yoda the Husky, and our in-studio friends from the Lion Cub Academy. Welcome, everybody. We start today's show by taking you all on a story safari. This is the part of the show where we have a wild adventure through a storybook. And today we have two stories. The first one is called Clothesline Clues to Jobs People Do by Catherine Helling and Deborah Hembrook. It is illustrated by Andy Robert Davies. Look at the clotheslines and see every clue. Who uses these things for the jobs that they do? Uniform and cap, an invitation for you. Big bag of letters. What job does she do? She is a mail carrier. Keep your eye on the cat. Let's see if we see him again, okay? Milk pail and straw hat, overalls in blue, plaid shirt, bandana. What job does he do? What do you think?
Farmer.
A farmer. Let's see. You're right. He is a farmer.
I knew it.
Wait, do we see our friend the cat anywhere? See, cat's over here.
I see somebody.
Yeah.
Mail.
Oh, yeah, you see the mail carrier? Yeah, she's still there. Oven mitts, apron, recipe for stew, puffy hat and whisk. What job does he do? What do you think? A chef. Yeah. He is a chef. Good job.
We see the mail guy.
Yeah, and who's that?
Cat.
Yeah. Oh, and who's up here?
I see the mail.
Yeah.
I see the mail.
Yeah, the farmer's truck. Smock, beret, and brushes, paints of every hue, canvas and easel. What job does he do? What do you think? A painter. Artist. Yeah. He is an artist. Look at that. Oh, and who's that?
The mail.
Yeah, the mail person. There's the cat. Yeah. Okay, what's next? What's next? Coveralls, tool belt, work gloves and glue, safety glasses, saw. What job does she do? A builder? Can you think a builder? She is a carpenter, which is like a builder. It's somebody who works with wood. They build stuff out of wood.
The mail carrier.
There's the mail carrier. There's the cat.
Kitty.
Yeah.
So cute. And boy.
Okay, what's next? What's next?
Firefighter.
Yeah.
Firefighter.
Heavy pants, helmet, wide suspenders too. Rescue coat, long hose. What job does she do?
Firefighter.
Good guess. She is a firefighter. Look at that.
Yeah.
Who else is here? Is that the mail carrier?
Yes.
And here's the cat.
Where's the farmer?
Yeah, the farmer's not in this one.
Birdie. Birdie on the ladder. Birdie.
Oh, yeah, birdies, yeah.
Astronaut.
Okay, spacesuit and jetpack, star charts to review, flight gloves, and moon boots. What job does she do?
Astronaut.
Yeah, good job. Okay, who is it? She is an astronaut. Look at that. Yeah. Wow.
The people are
Wow, look at all these people. Do we recognize these people? We got the cat, we got the mail carrier, the chef, the carpenter. This is the artist. And there's the farmer.
on the left.
Okay.
They all want to go in there and
Look at that. They're going to have a party. These clothes are all clues to jobs people do. Is one of these jobs just right for you?
Yes.
Look at that. Wow. Okay. That was a great story. Now, let's read our second book. It's called
Shapes.
Oh, Olive, and it is written by Lian Cho. Olive Chen is an artist. Olive is the most magnificent and brilliant artist in the whole wide world. Knock, knock.
Not.
Somebody's knocking on the door. Who do you think it is?
Mom.
Yeah? You think it's the mom? Or so she thought anyway. Olive, it's time for your art lesson. Oh, it's her dad. Yep. Let's see. He's coming in for her art lesson. Olive's parents were also artists. Serious artists. Her father painted squares. Her mother painted triangles. Look at that. There they are, painting squares and triangles. They knew that one day, Olive would also paint brilliant squares or magnificent triangles, just like them. But they didn't know when it would happen. What do you think Olive will paint?
Bunnies?
Bunnies? Maybe. Maybe. From the moment she was born, they tried their best. Olive's father showed her pictures. Olive's mother showed her blocks. But Olive wasn't interested in any shapes. Oh, Olive, artists don't smear. Why don't you draw a square for school tomorrow? Oh, Olive, artists don't lick. How about you draw a triangle instead? No matter how hard they tried, it became clear that Olive just could not paint a shape. The next morning, Olive went to school. Olive listened very closely to the teacher and painted very seriously on her classmates. Oh my.
That's really messy.
Yeah, you shouldn't paint on people, should you?
Yeah.
No, that's silly. All right. By the end of the year, Olive still hadn't painted what anyone asked her to. Beautiful square, Marco. Spectacular circle, Rosie. An amazing triangle, Nadira. Nice try, Olive. Maybe try a shape next time?
Yeah, maybe.
That's not a shape, is it? No. No. Okay. I don't think you should paint a shape, said Marco. I like your paintings just the way they are, said Nadira. I wish I knew how to paint like you, said Rosie. And the rest of them agreed. Do you guys like Olive's paintings?
Yeah.
Yeah? Anyone can do it, said Olive. I guess I can show you how. Grab some paint and a paintbrush or two. How about blue? Yes. Pink? Yes. Green? Duh. That's more like it. It's getting there, but I think we need more. They painted the square house, the triangle house, the walls, the local library, the librarian, the waterfall, the bridge, the people in the marketplace, the pizza palace, the coffee shop, the pet store, Mr. Hopper and his baby, Ms. Garcia, the fashionista, the people having a picnic, the park, the people in the park, Mr. Chopper Choppington III, and finally, her parents' art museum. Olive, stop! But then Olive's parents looked closer. Oh, Olive, this is beautiful. Look at all your fabulous colors. You've been a magnificent artist all along. I know, said Olive. It's okay that you can't paint a shape. Our painting could use some of your brilliant and wacky splatters. They handed her a paintbrush. Why don't you surprise us? What do you think she's gonna do? You think she's gonna splatter all over their painting? No. No?
I think I'm going to do a shape.
You think she'll do a shape? Let's see. So Olive did. She painted with every color. She painted a line there and a stroke there. She splashed and she splattered. She painted what she felt, what she could paint all along. Olive painted
Rainbow.
the world's most perfect circle. The end. Those were two great stories about painting. Are there any other kinds of art you guys can think of? Do you guys draw, or do you make stuff out of clay? Or you draw all the time? Okay, whoa, one at a time, one at a time.
I did.
Okay, what did you say? You make stuff out of clay. That's cool. So there's all kinds of different kinds of art. We're gonna take a short break, and when we come back, we will talk to an artist.
I'm gonna be a painter.
Welcome back to the Cub Club. Today we are joined by Frank Pishker, who is an art teacher here at Missouri Southern. He has come to answer some questions about being an artist and to tell us what it's like. Thank you for coming.
Oh, you're very welcome.
So what kind of schooling was required to become an artist?
Well, there's a couple different routes for becoming an artist. You don't actually have to go to school if you just practice every single day. But if you go to school, you get to learn much faster because you don't have to make a bunch of mistakes over and over again and not understand why you're making those mistakes. So, typically, you will go to college for about 4 years, and for some people that's enough. Other people, they go on and get a graduate degree, and that's another 3 years of schooling where they just practice and practice and practice to become very, very good.
All right. So what do you do on a typical day?
Typical day, well, there is no typical day if you're an artist. Each project you're working on sort of has its own sort of workflow, and you have to, as the artist, determine what it's going to take to make that become a success. But I will often get up in the morning, I'll go out to the studio, I will start making some things, essentially making the parts and the pieces that will all be assembled later on to become something. And then as those are drying, I will be working on things that I started the day before. So I'm usually working on several projects at the same time. Other people will work on one project from start to finish.
Oh. Okay, so we just read about a couple of books about painting. Do you paint, and are there any other kinds of art that you do?
I very rarely paint.
Okay.
I tend to, I do some work with a brush.
Mm-hmm.
It tends to either be with ink instead of paint.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been more partial to water-based than, say, oil paint. And then I will also do a lot of decorating with glazes because I tend to work with clay mostly.
Okay, so clay and glazes, yeah. What is your favorite type of art?
My favorite type of art is working with clay.
Yeah.
So I make things with squishy clay and then fire them into a new product called ceramics.
Wow, that's cool. So what made you want to be an artist?
I was going to school and just really kind of fell in love with watching someone take a lump of clay and then suddenly within minutes it's a completely different shape.
Wow. What advice do you have for any of our kids who might want to be artists?
Just every day, make some art.
Yeah.
Take a pencil, take a pen, draw on some paper. And if you enjoy doing it, keep doing it.
That makes sense. All right. Do you kids have any questions for our artist friend here?
Oh my goodness, everybody's got questions. How do we choose?
Start with the front first.
All right, let's do that.
Can you show us your art pictures?
I didn't bring any pictures of my work, but I did bring this piece of mine.
Oh, wow.
What about the pizza? What about the pizza?
Well, that's somebody else's work. So I brought some other examples of other type of work that people make. So we were just talking about paintings, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I brought a couple samples of paintings.
Yeah.
This is one of our students made these.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you wanting close-up?
So these were done with paint, but this was watercolor paint. Have you guys ever worked with watercolor? Right.
Wow.
So this is something that you guys could do with that watercolor paint. And then some people don't like to get messy at all. So instead of painting or drawing, they might use a camera to make their art. So some people do photography. So this is a sample of a photograph that was taken in Sweden. So we had a student take their camera, they took a photography class in Sweden, and then they developed this in a dark room using chemicals to make the paper show the image. Then some people like to make sculptures. So here's an example of a sculpture.
Wow.
It looks like a pizza, but you don't want to eat this one because it will break your teeth.
Yeah.
Because it's mostly wood, but it's made to look, it's been painted. It does look really beautiful. You can look at it, but you can't eat it.
It wouldn't taste good.
All right.
It would taste good.
And then other people use computers to make advertisements and designs.
Wow.
So here's a poster from a show we just had in our gallery last week. Yes. They imported some images into a computer, and then they chose what typography, what shapes of letters they're going to use. They made sure they had all the important information so that people could find where the show was and when the show was. And they did. And then we printed out several of these copies. So you can do all kinds of different art.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
It's one of my favorites. That's why I brought it.
Good one.
Okay, what other questions
Got
do we
one
have?
right here, patiently waiting. What's your question?
Why did you want to be an artist?
You know, there's a lot of jobs you can do. And I did some other sort of jobs out there. And in those jobs, someone tells you what to do during that day, and then you have to do what they tell you to do. But when you're an artist, you tell yourself what you're going to do, and you choose what you're going to do that particular day. So if I don't want to work on trimming the bottoms of yesterday's pots, I can put that off a few hours, and I can go do something else.
All right, let's see over here.
Where do you get the paint?
You can get paints at a lot of places. We get most of ours now online, so we can get it from bigger cities where they have better sort of options. But you can certainly get some, a range of paints here in Joplin over at Hobby Lobby or Michael's.
Why do you do artwork?
Because I want to share things with people, but not necessarily have to tell them about what I'm sharing. So with art, you don't need to speak the same language to have an understanding of the artwork. So I have taught in several different countries where they speak different languages, but the artwork has the same reaction. So I don't need to speak their language for them to understand what I am saying with my work.
All right, we'll go over here.
Why do you mix colors together?
Well, mostly we mix colors together to make new colors and different colors.
How do colors change colors if they're not the same color?
Well, there's some real fancy paints out there nowadays where depending what light hits it, it will change what we see color coming off. So it may be green in one light and then you look in a different direction and it looks purple. It's amazing.
Why do you paint all the time?
Because that's the only way to get better, is to keep doing it.
Why do you have the lots of paints?
I'm sorry, say again?
Why do you have a lot of paints?
Why do we have lots of paints? So that we have lots of options. Not only what color, but also sort of like how much shine does it have? How intense of a color? Is it really bright or is it kind of subtle and quiet?
Okay, I have a question actually.
Excellent.
So what inspires you in your art and the stuff you create?
A lot of times I'm looking at the history of art. So some of my work and some of my decoration patterns are based off of things that have been done for 1,000 years, or even 2,000 years. And it's really interesting to, in my mind, be working in the same ways that people who have completely different backgrounds and a different life and a different society, and yet getting similar but slightly different results, and how today's world still sort of mirrors that world from before.
Why do you mix colors, all the colors together, make brown?
That's a good question, because I always thought when you mixed all the colors you get black. But the materials we use in pigments to make our paints, they aren't quite true to nature, so they won't give us the true black. We have to like cheat to get a real good black.
And how do you create art to make like practical things or practical objects?
You really just have to, from the start, have a plan that this is going to be something that has a practical use. So you're really concerned about what the form, what the function of the form is going to be, and then you figure out, all right, now how can I move away from there and make a pretty object or an exciting object that still works as that function.
All right, we got a question up here.
Can you make a painting out of clay?
Can I make a painting out of clay? I can't really make a painting, but I can make a bowl out of a piece of clay.
Okay.
So if I have a little ball of clay, I can shape it into a ball first.
I didn't make that noise.
Why does it make that noise?
Because it's clay.
Yeah. And I'm slapping the poor thing.
Has clay too.
So, pretty big ball of clay. And now,
It looks like a rock.
if I poke my finger in it,
Whoa. A donut.
now it's pottery, because I can put like 3 paper clips in there.
Donut.
It does look like a donut, but not all the way through. But now if I squeeze the clay a little bit more, I can make it
A bowl.
a little bit bigger of an opening and create a little bit more of a bowl.
A super bowl.
A soup bowl, yes. And then I can kind of do that again.
Can you make it even like to a hat?
See how it's getting a little bit bigger?
If you like flip it over, it makes a hat.
Well, it's a very small hat. So I don't think this would fit on anybody here.
You can fit it on me. You can fit it on me.
Plus, it's clay, so if you wore it, you'd get your hair dirty. And your parents would be very upset with me, I think. If...
Do you want to answer some more questions while you're...
Sure.
All right, right here.
How did they make that pizza?
It will make a bit of a rock.
How
The
did
pizza was made with a lot of glue. So there was a lot of pieces that were all made. Some of them were made with a computer and cut out with a laser cutter. And then each piece was popped out of its cutting and painted meticulously, and then they were all glued down.
All right. Thank you. Oh, wow, that's so cool. Okay. Thank you so much for coming and talking to us, Frank.
You're welcome.
And thank you, our visitors from the Cub Club, for coming and listening to our story and listening to our guest. And thank you all for watching. This has been Cub Club. Join us next time to go on another story safari and learn about another exciting job. See you next time.
The books read on the Cub Club are provided by Joplin Public Library. Visit them to read these and more exciting stories.